Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we have a really fun episode. Today we're going to be reviewing Legion of X number 3 with that really sweet cover right there. And you got like Nightcrawler running with Juggernaut and the whole team being chased by a giant purple anthropomorphic teddy bear. And if you're, yeah. Well, before we get dived into that, I do want to let you guys know about the 400 subscriber giveaway. Now, when we hit 400 subscribers, we'll be giving this book away. It's the Symbiote Spider-Man number 1, Symbiotes, store exclusive variant with Venom there, kind of like you know he's eating Spider-Man cereal. I guess that's what Venom does, right? All right, guys. Um, let's go ahead and get dived in. Now, as always, there's a couple things we have to cover before we get completely into the issue. First off, I want to let you guys know we're going to be going heavy into spoilers. So, if you don't want to be spoiled for Legion of X number 3, that's your warning. Next up, I always want to shout out the creative team because without the creative team, we wouldn't have a comic book. All right, guys, so we have the writer is Cy Spurrier, the artist is Jan Bazaldua, the colors are done by Federico Blee, the letters are done by VC's Clayton Cowles, and designed by Tom Mueller with Jay Bowen. And we'll go ahead and get started here. In the beginning, we see Weaponless Zen, and she is talking to Arbitrix, and she says, I have accessed Krakoan surveillance files. I regret to report nothing of value was revealed. If the fugitive god is here, nobody is speaking of it. And then we see Nightcrawler. He's inside the station, and so there's like a lot of different storylines going on, right? And so Nightcrawler says, "What else? If you run into Banshee, direct him to Counselor Birdie. Yeah, nobody's seen him since yesterday, and don't forget our VIP guest is coming. Pixie will play chaperone." And so then we see Pixie, and she's coming up to who it looks like is Doctor Strange, but she actually ends up seeing right through it, and she's like, you're not Doctor Strange, but we go to Weaponless Zen, who's talking with the big crazy eyeball, and the eyeball tells her basically that find that god Zen, find him, and nothing more. Do not engage him. Do not listen to the lies of a trickster. Find him and contact me. I will acquaint him with Iraqi law. So I think he wants to stare into his soul and make him disappear, right? And so then Weaponless Zen kind of arrives at the beach, the liminal boundary of the astral plane and the altar, and she's talking with Nightcrawler and Legion and Legion's new girlfriend, and basically like she's like, Nightcrawler, I received your note. You're certain this will work? He says, certain? No, of course not. But spying on X-Force got you nowhere. Gods and spirits are the stuff of the astral plane. Perhaps there are answers out there. We might even have fun. So kind of like they're gonna go on this astral plane adventure, and as we can see here, this panel right here that's super duper amazing. I love the art on that one, and the juxtaposition of the pink on blue. I really think it makes it pop. Um, and he's like, "There's darkness in the depths," as they go down, and then so we go back to Pixie, who's she's figured out that this guy's actually Switch, the the guy they've been looking for that's able to like kind of steal bodies or whatever, and you know what I'm saying. Then we go back. So she reveals that he's not actually Doctor Strange. And then we go back to Legion, and he comes up. He finds Juggernaut, because those three, Nightcrawler, Weaponless Zen, and Legion's new girlfriend, went off into this new space, but Legion stayed behind. He comes up and he's talking with Juggernaut, who's actually crying, and he's like, I think I might be broken. I know it sounds dumb. That skinjacker was only in my body for 5 minutes, but it felt like forever. I was someplace dark and cold. Something else was in there too, muttering. I can't stop thinking about it, I swear. Even the times my powers weren't working, I ain't ever felt so weak before, so helpless. And Legion says to him, to Juggernaut, listen, no offense. Aren't you the head of the Professor X fan club these days? Why not go to him for advice? And he says, I did. He just told me he could just cut out the memory. And Legion says, I see. First, you'd have to quit the Legion like he wanted leverage. And Juggernaut says, enjoy paradise, he says. That's why I invited you here. Peace, relaxation, and picturesque views. You've earned it. Legion says, and what did you say? Juggernaut says, sometimes I ain't all that smart, okay? Don't tell anyone. I get kind of flustered. I told him I'd think about it. And Legion says, Uncle Kane, that's the single smartest answer anyone can ever give. Come here. Something I want to show you. As they walk up to the guy that they arrested in the prior issue, and they thought he had killed his wife, and we do get the reveal here that she actually died of a tumor in her lungs, and he had nothing to do with it, though it may have had something to do with the smoke that's always emanating off of him that gave her lung cancer, and so he blames himself anyways, and they also say that they can use him to kind of like, because of his powers of touching everything, like she says, here in the altar, Dust's ability to control billions of granular points can be repurposed as a psychic network. And then go back to Legion and Juggernaut, and Legion's shown him the bad guy that he's captured, and he's inside of an urn, and so he's like, he's basically evil. But funny thing, he hasn't broken any of Dad's laws. Should we let him go? And the guy in the urn, the bad guy, says, your gloves, your puppets of skin and sinew, you can't interrogate me. And so then as they're walking away, Legion says to Juggernaut, listen, Dad's way is about control. He invited you to come live in paradise because he'd rather have that than have you causing trouble out in the world. To him, big simple laws mean folks don't have to think. If someone's scared or broken, you just reach in and yank out the flaws, maximum efficiency. It would never occur to him that helping folks manage their own demons might be the sturdier approach. So, are you gonna quit, Unky C? And then we go back to the crazy mind space where Weaponless Zen, the new girl, and Nightcrawler, and I just wanted to show that panel. It's awesome, right, guys? I love the art in this one. And so they're kind of falling through this panel, and the main thing of it is I'll show this panel too. Just like, this is what the art looks like in this book, guys. It's cool. I really like it. And so we got Nightcrawler. He's like, I have faith, and the big reveal here though is that Weaponless Zen ends up seeing some of Nightcrawler's fantasies, because he tries to take control in this head trip space, a little bit more of his own powers and stuff, but it ends up just showing all of his fantasies. And then so she sees his fantasies, one of which includes him kissing her, and then all of a sudden all these bad guys start coming out from everywhere, and she screams, fight the Everwar, and just starts slaying all kinds of demons, and then he's like, snap out of it, Zen. These are just merely fears. And she turns to him and says, these are my fantasies, and kisses him, dead serious. And then so they kind of continue on, they're fighting, and they run into what maybe is like the main bad guy. I'm not sure. He says, "Pixie, you shall not pass," um, because like Pixie's kind of figured out that that guy was bad, and so he gets really big, and he summons all these. I'm showing a lot of panels. Hope I don't get in trouble, but yeah, he summons all these crazy purple dinosaurs and teddy bears, and so you do get what the front cover is inside here, and they start chasing him. All these different um, crazy anthropomorphic creatures, and there's another really awesome panel with Juggernaut saving Pixie. And he's like, "Hang on, kid. This ride's a little bit bumpy," as the bad guy says to them, you know, by sacrificing a god. So they don't really reveal who the bad guy is, but like maybe he's sacrificed a god or something like that. Um, so Juggernaut gets Pixie out of there though and saves her though, and then we go back to Nightcrawler and Weaponless Zen fighting, and she says to Nightcrawler, "These images, these childish expressions of chaos, I recognize them." And Nightcrawler says, "Zen, wait, those images from before, war and death, how can those be your fantasies?" She says, "Not all who are of peace are at war, Nightcrawler. I think you know that." And at the same time, there's like something goes wrong, and she says, "There's something wrong here. These visions, they feel alive." And Weaponless Sen says, "As I was saying, these are the same outbreaks of mischief that plagued Duraco. This is the signature of our missing god. Why would it obstruct Pixie? She's working on a different case. It makes no sense." And Nightcrawler says, "I'm afraid it does. You were convinced the deity must have an acolyte on Krakoa, ya? This explains why Switch is suddenly using magic, boosting his powers, avoiding detection, even outgunning a sorceress like Pixie. It's because he is the god's new worshipper." And then we see as, um, you know, Pixie thanks Juggernaut for saving her, and kind of makes a comment about, it it's nice having you on the team, and it seems like you've turned the other leaf, right? And he says, everyone's kind of tried to be better, right? If old paintbrush hair can go from being a timeline wrecking liability to giving half decent advice, well, maybe I can persuade my brother I'm more than a wrecking ball with shoes. And then we go back to Weaponless Zen and Nightcrawler, and you know, it's kind of looking not good. They're sort of like minds are falling apart to everything that's happening, and Weaponless Zen says, "What is that? Is that more native life?" And Nightcrawler says, I think that's Banshee." And we get our final page reveal of what Nightcrawler thinks is Banshee. Really cool looking, guys. Awesome. Like I said, the art in this is amazing. I'm loving it. So I guess Banshee's possibly gone evil, or maybe Banshee is the one. Yeah. So there's definitely two bad guys, and they're working together. It seems. Um, I I'm definitely liking this one. There was a lot of back and forth in this one that Cy Spurrier that did make it a bit hard to keep up with the story, just because there's so many different story beats going on at the same time, kind of, and he wanted to do a lot of development of Juggernaut's character, honestly, in this issue, and I don't fault him on that. I actually really appreciated the parts with Juggernaut and him getting some character development. Um, while at the same time interspersed with this action scene with Nightcrawler, Weaponless Zen, and um, Legion's new girlfriend. I forget her name, guys. I'm sorry. Um, like kind of in this headspace, and then they seem to have found. And then also at the same time we have Pixie, who has revealed Switch as one of the bad guys. And then we also do get the reveal in this issue that there are two bad guys, and it seems like one of them is Switch and one of them is Banshee. And so somehow, like, guys, like when Banshee kind of, if you've been reading X-Men, Banshee's kind of like, he's had some problems because Moira, his ex-girlfriend, killed him and then um, took off his skin and wore it like a suit into Krakoa, and just kind of really disturbed him and messed with his head. And so he had come in here to talk, and I think uh, he's been manipulated by who they were showing earlier. And so maybe, yeah, I don't know if there's three bad guys, because I don't think Switch is the main big bad. So maybe there's like three bad guy stories going on. But I still want to say, like I said before in the other review, that these all tie together like somehow. But well, that's just it would make more sense if the story we're telling ends up being all tied together at the end, and making sense. So I still think there's like a connection between um, Switch and Legion, and the Mother Righteous, who gave the proposition to Legion. And then we saw that when Banshee was going into like the mind healing compound place, we saw that actually Mother Righteous was in charge there. And so definitely Mother Righteous is like granting people wishes or whatever, and it's not good. But it's probably, that's going to be my guess. I think Mother Righteous is probably behind all of it. Um, I'm loving the art in this too. Oh man, it's really awesome, and I love the colors. Uh, they just, there's a lot of different fun colors in this book, because it's a lot in this like Legion headspace. So we're not, the backdrops aren't cityscapes and stuff like that, and it's always very colorful and very pleasing to the eye, basically. And I'm enjoying it. It's kind of a different pace than a lot of the other books that are out right now. And that's another thing to point out too, is what I'm saying, this is one of those books that I don't really think you need to read the other X titles to enjoy this one, because though it's not in a different canon or anything like that, it's still taking place during the X-Men canon right now. It's completely involved and wrapped up in this Legion headspace. So yeah, that's what I have, guys. I'm gonna give Legion of X #3 a thumbs up. I definitely am enjoying this, and yeah, that's what I have today, guys. I'm liking a lot of the X-Men titles, and this is probably one of the better ones. All right, yeah. Remember, like, comment, and be subscribed for your chance to win the Symbiote Spider-Man #1 Symbiotes store exclusive variant cover. And if you guys want to help support the channel, check out my Instagram on I am Jacob_comic, so the same as my YouTube name but without the S. And I do live sales sometimes. Also, I have an eBay store. The link's below. Shop there, and I'll send you some comic books. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.